2026. Last night, I was thinking about the September 23, where even that biker on September 30th, 2025, was yelling at his ex-girlfriend outside that the guys running it found out this whole thing was their family's debt to drug dealers. And then is that what's going on? Does she even know you? No, and you had her raped and tortured, her skull bashed in because your family was in debt to drug dealers? Yes. Listen to January of 13th of 23, her and her friend Matt talking about it, that those the Ohio drug dealers were threatening that agent's life for letting those people be human trafficked. It was your family that let them be human trafficked, and it was your family human trafficking people to pay back those debts to drug dealers. Yes, I'm sorry. And where she had already said, does she even know you? No, I don't want her to know. She doesn't even know you. Had her skull bashed in, had her raped and tortured because you were in debt to drug dealers. Yes, I'm sorry. Well, it's your family inciting her new husband's family that they could steal that farm for him. Well, yes, but I really liked it. I wanted it. Like, it makes it okay. I listened to September of 23. Did you know the original cartel that did this admitted they photoshopped everything? Yeah, I know that. And they confronted her ex-husband if he knew it was medical malpractice, medication errors, and fraud before. Did you know that? Yeah, I knew it. But you know what else was said in September? Okay, and they got her confession. So he listened to September 23, whereas up on Forest Grove Drive, the cartel was up there, okay, following me, driving by, saying stuff, yelling stuff in the distance. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I'm sitting outside with a client, okay? And they're yelling stuff off in the distance. And you know what was said that day? Now, the guy listened to it. The police recorded it. I'm sitting outside, and they yelled out, some guy yelled out, I went to John. He said, I was listening to the tapes before, and at one part, it didn't make sense. He said, an open-end comment that didn't fit into the situation. He said it didn't even make sense. It didn't make sense. He said, what was being said? Well, when you drug somebody up and you tell them to say something, they're stoned. They don't get it right. You need to practice with them while they're drugged. They're not going to get it right. He said he don't answer questions to no one. He screamed at me. And that he don't, and I asked him to explain it. It doesn't make sense what was said. He said he don't explain nothing to no one. He don't answer no one's question, and for me to mind my own business. If he wouldn't have been cartel and all those other drug dealers around him, he probably would have punched the guy. And the only thing that saved him from being punched is all the other drug dealers around him. But what did he say? When they asked John, about what was supposed to be said, that it didn't even make sense. He said he don't answer questions for no one. I asked him just to explain it. He was screaming at me. He said, I don't explain nothing to no one. And I don't answer no one's questions. And you need to mind your own business. He was screaming at me. So their lie of John verified it, flat out lie. Just like Danny and Jen reporting the shower scene in the other room. They didn't even know about it, flat out lie. Okay? A lady in Gaia walks by us while we're sitting outside. Said even the drug dealers they hired to watch her, they don't even find this funny anymore. She do anything wrong? No. They're yelling it. And he said the original cartel already admitted they photoshopped everything. They made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know, but none of this is funny. They even confronted her ex-husband if he knew it was medical malpractice, medication error, and fraud, and they encouraged them to sue those doctors for years. And he said, yes, he knew it. And he didn't say a word and let all those people hurt her. None of this is funny. See, that's where these people run around. Oh, John verified. No, he didn't. What did he say? I don't answer questions to no one. And we want you to explain. I don't explain myself to no one. You need to mind your own. And if they wouldn't have been drug dealers, and so many of them, he would have punched that guy. He said, I kept telling him it didn't even make sense. It was like an open-end statement of being, and he said it didn't even fit. Well, when you roofie someone and you tell them to say something, they don't get it right because they're stoned. See, that's where last night I stayed up. I'm going over stuff with people, and then I realized where that Michelle, where they said, did you know in September of 23, the original cartel admitted they photoshopped everything? Yeah, I knew that. Well, what else did they admit to? John never verified anything for anyone. Wouldn't even answer their questions. Screamed at him. Does the police have a recording of it? Yes, my phone, my car is bugged. Officer not too far verifying everything every day for the FBI case. Now, I want you to think about this and think hard how not funny this is. But they did have a pretend John with them, the cartel. Bring in the other John for us to get away with this. This tall white guy had a full beard, looks really similar to my son John, put his nose up in the air and walked by me in Walmart 62 in front of the police and the feds. Okay. Last year, they were saying stuff and yelling stuff that people helping out in this ridiculous scam. And I go over how my son John on Thanksgiving of 18 said no one can say anything bad about me. And it'd be made up because of the divorce. His ex-wife will have him make it up, have our church people make up stuff, but don't worry about it. No one can say anything bad about you. And that years later, when he tried to get custody of the kids, he called me like 2020, 2021, asked me, Mom, will you be a reliable name to pick up Kenzie Carrington and Noah, his kids? He said, from school and watch him. He said, I want to try to get custody back. He said, and I said, John, I don't get off my first job, let alone the second one. I don't make enough as it is now. I can barely make it. I'm sorry, honey, I can't help you. But Mom, those are my kids. I'll lose them forever. I said, John, I barely make it now. I barely can keep my apartment. I'm sorry. I don't get off the first job, let alone the second. I can't afford to help you. But please, Mom, if you're not that reliable name to be on a court record to watch my kids, I'll lose them. I kept apologizing. He lost his kids. He moved to Florida, met this new woman, married her. They started their church and they have a baby. And he looks happier than he'd ever been. He got away from that occult. His ex-wife in it. Okay? He wasn't part of it. But last year I was telling Carr about that. And we pull into Quintanas, June 13th, 14th, or 25. People pull in. If John's been in Florida for years, who's that riding around with him asking him to kill her? They said they have somebody impersonating him. I'll be out in a minute. And John's been in Florida. It's just some guy impersonating him. See, they're trying to set John up for premeditated murder. I tried to hire someone to kill me. That's how not funny it is. Some guy walked by where I was working after I started at night and said, if John's been in Florida for years, who have I been talking to in my office? They had somebody impersonate him. We don't know. Well, what happened? What was it? May 24th, 26th? Myers? Actually, no, it was May 28th, 26th. I'll have to look it up. Myers, North Maine. What happened? What happened? Mm-hmm. Guy goes to walk in. I said, you know how I took Carl? Do you know how I told you that somebody impersonating John? Looks like that guy that was taller than him. And he said, he does look like that picture of your son that you showed me. He walked into Myers, North Maine, in North Canton. Okay. And, with a white girl with black hair. And Carl goes, looks at the fruit and veggies, and I'm looking. The guy walks up and said, how did it go years ago? We're right in front of the police and the FBI, bring in the pretend John to get away with this. Walked by, and I thought, you do look like my son, John. But he had a full beard, put his nose up in there, but he's taller and he's thicker. The guy resembled that, except for he had his face shaved. And he said, how did it go years ago? Oh, yeah. And put his nose up in there. The girl got on the phone. How dumb were they to bring the pretend John in to verify everything in front of the police and the FBI? They always knew this whole thing was a scam on her. Oh, they're making fun of her because Agent John didn't pay. He stole her money. See, that's where they've been talking about up in Medina. They have been talking Walmart 62. Everybody knows they used a pretend John to verify. Because what did my John say? I don't answer questions. I don't explain myself to no one. He screamed at me. He didn't verify for anything. He wasn't part of trying to have me killed, but they were trying to frame him for trying to hire a murderer and try to have somebody kill me. They were trying to get him arrested. See, that's where, what was it? May 30th, 26th, Medina Auto Mile, that Indian guy. There's no reason to kill her. We all found out they used a pretend John to verify it. And then, they were May 26th, May 27th, something like that. Walmart 62, they said some lady thought she could steal everything, and they found out it came out they were using a pretend John. Not to say a word. Well, the FBI and police knew that. See, that's where the cartel's laughing. Because who's running it? The guy running it, they announced it May 28th, 26th. Bob Evans, the agent that told on me to Apostolic Church of Barberton, admitted on a recorder line. It's him. He's the guy running it. It's not a drug dealer. Where they said that he actually took a bribe. He actually is working for the cartel. That's why he told on me. And my on a recorded line was acting so crazy. He knew that they were trying to kill me. He didn't blame him for trying to kill me, mocking me. It wasn't an act. Where the officers thought it was an act to get him. And then after that, Walmart 62, Officer John would know who it is. A white guy with black hair, shorter. By the hair salon, there's investigators, and then the cartel's on the other side, Walmart 62 and 18. He's stomping around like a little kid, walking out, saying crazy crap. And when the investigator said, good, him and his drama's gone. He can deal with the drama himself. We can get those people they hired to hurt her, tell them to follow. And others complaining we don't feed into religious heresy. What is his problem doing that? Then if you take September 10th, 25, Tuscarawas County Courthouse, prosecutor's office, behind the door, I want her to have nothing when I get done with her. I want her to hate her husband. I want her to have nothing. And saying crazy crap. Well, out walks a white guy with black hair doing a little kid stomp. Bro, I thought, I've seen that walk before. Where have I seen that? It's been 7 years. And then Judge Lori talking about some office down there, calling my case fraud, calling me a liar, walked by an office. I had the right to do things. And then they're saying that it was the agent that over my case. He's no longer with my case. Within a few months, I called back down to the FBI. They said, Miss Hall, we're so sorry for everything. He's no longer with the FBI. We're so sorry for everything. He was let go by January 19th. He's still telling people he's an FBI agent. See, May 9th, 26th, in Myers and Alliance, they looked up that so-called attorney. He's not an attorney. It's just some guy Dave hired on his own, and they think it's Dave's girlfriend's dad. It's that bad. They announced it in Myers out in Alliance. He was down there trying to get his own case that he opened, where they said May 28th, 26th, that it was him in that courthouse. He's at where they said they sold the login. It wasn't, he said, how cool this would have been if he would have been acting this way. Go up there and tell on her, act like he's going along with him, take the bribe, sell him the login to the case so it has reverse malware so he could track the cartel. It'd been super cool. But unfortunately, it's just that he's that dirty. He did take a bribe. He's been the one running it the whole time. He did sell him government technology. He was the one in that courthouse trying to get that case thrown out because he works for the cartel now. The one that's no longer with the FBI. The one that told on her. That agent. It's him. And they have him dead to rights in that courthouse. Yeah. I'm going to go. I got to get going. I'm really busy today. I'll try to do this better. But yeah. I'm going to upload this.